Look at the empty space in the safe. Just look at it. I cannot stop staring at the wall where that heavy steel door is hanging wide open, mocking every single ounce of security we thought existed. How does a highly classified, independently verified DNA file just vanish from a locked safe? Alexis is not careless. She is a shark. She is a veteran lawyer who locks down absolutely everything. But someone got in, someone bypassed the state-of-the-art security, opened the biometric safe without triggering a single alarm, and took the only piece of paper that proves the entire foundation of this town is a complete and utter lie. And they didn't just take it. They left a message. If you keep investigating Phoebe, the next thing to disappear won't be a file. I can't help but feel like this is not just a random threat from a desperate parent trying to keep a baby. This is surgical. This is someone who has been watching Alexis for weeks, tracking her every move, knowing exactly when she realized the hospital records were faked. Someone is playing a massive, terrifying game of chess in the shadows, and Alexis just accidentally stepped onto the board blindfolded. You don't just slip into a former lawyer's house and leave a printed threat unless you are supremely confident that you are untouchable. The sheer audacity of it makes my skin crawl. It means they have eyes everywhere. Inside the house, inside the hospital, maybe even inside the police department. Let's rewind because my brain is spinning out of control and I need to ground this. Let's go back to the paperwork. The beginning of the nightmare, Alexis was just doing what she always does. She was stepping in to handle the legalities, trying to help Ethan finalize the adoption, trying to make sure Molly gets the baby she so desperately wants. It was supposed to be standard, routine legal processing. But Alexis has this instinct, this cursed, undeniable ability to see the one number that doesn't add up on a page. She was looking at the hospital logs, the genetic markers, the blood typing, and she saw the digital footprint. The data had been altered, not just a typo. A deliberate, highly sophisticated override in the hospital's secure server. Someone went into the system and manually rewrote Phoebe's genetic history. Why? Why would anyone care enough about a seemingly random baby to hack a secure medical database? That is when Alexis panicked. And honestly, she was right to panic. She didn't trust the hospital. She couldn't. So she took a sample secretly and went to an independent lab. A lab that couldn't be bought, couldn't be threatened, completely off the grid. She waited for those results, probably thinking she was just going to find a minor discrepancy. Maybe a different father. Maybe a simple cover-up for a one-night stand. But what she got back, it changes the very fabric of reality. The independent lab confirmed it. Ethan is not the father. He has zero biological connection to Phoebe. None. Zero. And here is where my mind starts breaking in half. Supposedly, Brooklyn has no idea. Maybe I'm overthinking this, but how could she not know? Or is she just another victim in this sick game? Is she walking around completely blind to the fact that the child she carried, or the child she thinks is tied to her, is a complete genetic stranger to Ethan? I keep coming back to this idea that this isn't just about hiding a scandalous affair. This is a manufacturing process. Look at the patterns unfolding around us. Someone is deliberately creating perfect babies to manipulate the power structures of these families. Think about it logically. If you want to control the wealthiest, most dangerous, most influential people in town, you don't attack their businesses. You attack their bloodlines. You give them a child to love, a child to fight over, a child to inherit their massive empires, and you hold the strings. You hold the true identity of that child as the ultimate devastating blackmail. Whoever is orchestrating this isn't just a hacker. They are a god-tier manipulator treating these legacy families like disposable lab rats. And that brings us to the absolute core of this nightmare. The biggest shock of the independent lab results. The detail that made Alexis freeze in her tracks. The detail that probably made her blood run entirely cold. Phoebe is biologically related to Sunny. Let that sink into your brain for a second. Phoebe shares blood with Sunny. The most volatile, dangerous, fiercely protective man in the entire state. A man who values loyalty and blood above the law, above morality, above his own life. If that baby shares his blood, she is an heir to his empire. She is a massive target. She is a biological weapon. How did his DNA or the DNA of someone in his direct lineage get mixed into this random adoption? Was it stolen? Was it harvested years ago and kept on ice for this exact moment? If this secret gets out, it won't just be a messy custody battle. It will be a literal bloodbath in the streets. Molly wants this baby with every fiber of her being. Christina is deeply emotionally entangled in this entire mess, practically tethered to the child's future. And now, if Sunny finds out that this child, this little girl being passed around in legal documents like property is actually his blood, he will tear the city apart to claim her. He will crush Ethan. He will crush Brooklyn. He will steamroll Molly and Christina without a second thought because in his mind, family belongs with family and no one keeps a child of his blood away from him. The fallout would be biblical. An unprecedented custody war where the legal system means absolutely nothing against mob retaliation and pure, unadulterated family obsession. Put yourself in Alexis's shoes for just 1 second. Just imagine the suffocating, crushing weight of what she is carrying right now. She is a mother first. She looks at Molly, who has been through absolute hell, who is finally on the verge of genuine happiness. She looks at Christina, who is already so fragile, so easily broken by family betrayal and secrets. If Alexis opens her mouth, she detonates a nuclear bomb in her daughter's lives. She destroys Molly's dream forever. She shatters Christina's reality. But if she stays silent, she is complicit in a massive criminal conspiracy. She is letting a faceless puppet master pull the strings of her family. She is a woman who has fought her whole life for the truth, suddenly realizing that the truth is a toxic poison that will kill her kids. Something about this doesn't sit right with me. The timing of it all. Why did Alexis find it now? Was she meant to find it? Or did she actually slip past the tripwires of whoever is running this Stark operation? The psychological torture she must be enduring right now is unimaginable. She is pacing her house, checking the locks, looking out the windows, knowing that the person who emptied her safe could be anyone. It could be someone she trusts. It could be someone standing in the exact same room as her, smiling at her. She has to smile at Molly. She has to talk to Ethan. She has to look at Sunny across a crowded room and know that she holds the absolute key to his legacy, and she cannot say a single solitary word without risking a bloodbath. And let's talk about that text message again, because it is haunting me. The next thing to disappear won't be a file. That is a direct promise of murder. Or worse, kidnapping. If they can make a highly classified DNA document vanish from a locked steel box, they can make a person vanish. They can make Molly vanish. They can make Christina vanish. They can make the baby vanish in the blink of an eye. The truth might be way more complicated than it looks, because this implies a massive network. A single person doesn't have the resources to hack a hospital, break into a high security safe, and monitor a lawyer's private communications all at the exact same time. This is an organization. A shadow syndicate operating right under everyone's noses, using maternity wards and adoption agencies as their personal twisted playground. Who has the absolute audacity to pull this off? You need billions of dollars. You need zero moral compass. You need a deep, twisted understanding of genetics and a vendetta against the power players in town. I keep running down the list of suspects in my head, and every time I think I have a match, I hit a massive brick wall. But the arrogance of it, the sheer, unadulterated arrogance of playing God with Sonny's bloodline. Whoever this is, they aren't afraid of the mob. They aren't afraid of the law. They consider themselves entirely above it all. They are watching these families scramble for custody, fighting over a child whose identity was fabricated in a petri dish or a stolen hospital file, and they are sitting in the dark, laughing at them. Alexis thought she had a choice. That was her ultimate tragedy. She thought she could sit in her dark office, weigh the pros and cons, and decide whether to be the hero or the protective mother. But the theft of the file took that choice away entirely. Now she is a hostage. If she speaks, she has absolutely no proof. The original hospital records are scrubbed clean. The independent lab file is gone. If she goes to Sonny and says, hey, this baby is yours, she sounds like a desperate lunatic. She has no documentation to back it up. And if she pushes the lab to reprint the results, she triggers the threat. Someone she loves disappears forever. She is entirely trapped in a web of someone else's meticulous design, suffocating under the weight of a secret she can neither keep nor reveal. What if the whole time this isn't just about Phoebe? That is the dark thought that keeps me awake at night. If they can do this to Ethan, if they can do this to Brooklyn, if they can secretly inject Sonny's bloodline into a random adoption to create chaos, who else is a fake? How many other children in this town belong to someone else entirely? How many parents are looking deep into the eyes of a child they think is theirs, completely unaware that their real baby was swapped, sold, or reassigned by this shadow organization? This shifts everything we know. It's no longer just an adoption war. It is an epidemic of stolen identities. A massive, systemic child identity swapping conspiracy that could invalidate half the family trees in the city. I might be wrong, but I don't think anyone is safe anymore. The ground is literally falling out from under them, and they don't even feel the tremors yet. Alexis is sitting there, staring at an empty safe, holding a burner phone with a death threat, realizing that her entire world is a fabricated lie. And the worst part, the absolute most terrifying part of all of this, the baby is still out there. Phoebe is still breathing, crying, sleeping, completely innocent, entirely unaware that her very DNA is a ticking time bomb that could level the city. When the truth finally breaks, and it will break, because secrets like this always do, who is going to survive the blast radius? Will Molly ever recover her sanity? Will Christina? Will Sonny burn it all to ash to claim what is his? I look at these families, I look at the smiles and the hugs and the legal documents, and I just feel sick. Because none of it is real. None of it. Whose child is actually whose? Are any of them who they say they are?
Goodbye. Please like, subscribe, and comment on the GH Spoilers Daily channel.